Hi guys, welcome to Spartan Station. I am so happy to be back in Spartan Station making my videos for you today. All right guys, this week is going to be all about music and we love music. So we're going to be talking about lots of different types of music this week. The first type of music we're going to be talking about is woodwind instruments. Now woodwind instruments are usually something you blow in. So you blow in a flute to play a flute, so that's a woodwind. You blow into a clarinet, and that's a woodwind. And so we're talking about different things we blow in to make music. Now you guys, you can make music in lots of different ways. We're going to be talking about how you use instruments to make music, but you can make music by tapping on the table or by singing a song or dancing. So there's lots of different ways. All right, for our art activity today, you're going to need some straws. Now, you can go ahead and if you want to, you can sort them by a pattern. Maybe I'll do yellow, orange, green, blue, purple. Yellow, orange, green, blue. Good. All right, guys, so I'm going to go like this, and you're going to take all of these and you're going to tape them together. Now, mine have to be flipped around because there is a bend in them. So we're going to flip them around like this, and I'm going to take them all together like this and make them tall, and I'm going to get some tape, and I'm going to tape them together like this. So here is my tape. And we're going to put it together like this. So I'm just going to tape it and push it down. See how I pushed it down on it? And now I'm going to wrap it around. Ooh, got to keep them straight. And then I'm going to wrap it around and wrap it around. Ooh. Well, let's wrap around this way. All right. So I've got this all wrapped around. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut at a diagonal. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to cut diagonally, just like this. And watch, they're going to all pop off. Can you hear that? Listen to me blowing. Do you see by blowing, I'm making music? So by putting air into it, it then makes a sound. Do you think you can make one of these at home and go around making noise? Now the great thing about this is you can play it inside your house or outside your house or anywhere you want because it's nice and quiet. Let's listen again. I like it. All right, so that is your art activity today. Now, you could go ahead and make some longer or shorter, or you can do more of them or less of them and see, but let's listen again. All right, so that is our art activity today. Our math activity for today is going to be subtraction. Do you remember what subtraction means? Subtraction is to take away. So you'll have a certain amount and then you take that many away and you'll have less, a smaller number. So we're going to start with this here. All right, and we're going to start with this one. And this says 4 minus 3. Now you can do this with your hands if that's helpful, or you can have, you see there's objects here. You can do it that way. This one's a little trickier than the adding because normally with the adding you just count how many there are. But if you were to count these, you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that would be if you were adding. This is showing how many you're supposed to take away. So if you want to, you can take a marker and say, okay, there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to take away 1. Took away 1. How many are left? 1, 2, 3. All right, down here, what's the number 3? Is this a 3? No. Is this a 3? Yeah, so we're going to circle that number 3. All right, the next one we're going to do with our hand. All right, so this is 4 minus or take away 3. If I have 4 and I minus or take away 3, 1, 2, 3. How many do I have left? That's 1. Let's do it again because sometimes it's hard getting those fingers down. If I have 4 and I take away 1, 2, 3, how many's left? 1, that's right. Do you see the number 1 in here? Is it the beginning one, the end one, or the middle? It's the middle one. All right, I'm going to circle that. All right, here's our next one. We're going to do this one with marking them off. All right, so we have the number 5 minus or take away 2. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's telling us we're going to take away 1, 2. So I'm going to X out 2 because I'm going to take them away. All right, 1, 2. All right, I've taken them away. So how many are left? 1, 2, 3. That's right. Do you see a 3 down here? That's right. There's our 3 right there. So I'm going to circle that 3. All right, here's our next one. We're going to use fingers on this one. All right, guys, what's this number? 4. So 4 minus or take away 2. How many is that going to leave us? So if we have 4 and we're going to take away 1, 2, how many fingers are left? 2, that's right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and circle that 2. Now, here's a second sheet that we're going to do just because this has a different concept we haven't talked about before, okay? So we have the first one and it says 1 minus 1. So if you have 1 and you take it away, how many are left? None. There are none left. I had 1 and then I took it away. So how many is there? What's a number that equals none? 0. Do you see a 0 on there? Good job. All right, so let's circle that. So keep in mind that when you go ahead and have these, if you take it away, you can take it out. Let's do this next one. If I have 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to minus or take away 1, 2, 3, let's X those out and see. 1, 2, 3. All right, well, I had 3 and then I took away 3. So how many are over here now? None. So what's that number? 0. That's right. So that one's a little bit tricky that maybe we haven't done before, so I wanted you to look at it. All right, guys, so that's that for that activity. So that is our subtraction. Remember, when we add, we get more. When we subtract, we take away and we have less. When you add, you have more than you had before. And when you subtract, you have less than. Are those kind of the words we use with our alligators? That helps us to be able to know if a number is getting bigger or smaller. All right, guys, our next activity today is sight words. Now, I wanted to go ahead and just put up some sight words for us to be able to practice. I know it's been a long time. Mr. Matt did them at circle time all the time, and we haven't. So this is going to be a good review, but I want you to see if you can say the sight word before I do. What's this word? A or a. Good job. What's this word? The. Now remember, there's some words like our word families that we really like to sound out the words. But there are some that are sight words, which means you cannot sound them out. The is one of those words. You can look at this and you go, t-eh, t-eh, t-eh. That's not the word. It's the. And that's why it's so important that when we look at these, that instead of sounding it out, our brain just knows. T-H-E spells the. T-H-E spells the. So this is the. I went to the store. All right, here's our next one. Do you know what it is? This one you can sound out, but it's still a sight word because when you see it, your brain just needs to know automatically what the word is. Is. This is fun doing sight words with you. Is. All right, what about this one? To. To. I went to the store. You know this one? You. You are doing a really good job at looking at these sight words. Guys, if you don't know these, that's okay. That's what Mr. Matt did at circle time all the time. He'd hold up the word and see if you knew them. And the more you look at them and look at the word, then the faster you'll be able to learn them. So this is you. What's this one? 4. Not the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I bought a cookie for you. 4. This one's easy because it's just the letter just like the A or a. I am so glad you're here today. This one can get a little tricky, but if you remember the word we just did, which was is, and you just put an H in front, it's his. His. His shoes were untied. I was afraid he was going to fall. All right, this one. Whenever you see an E at the end of a word all by itself, it says its name. He. He didn't fall, though, because he stopped and tied his shoes. As I was walking down the hall, I saw my friends and waved. All right, guys, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these ones over and see if we can do, if I turn them all the right way, the back of them. What word is this? Can. Can you read this word? Can. Of. Of. Do. Did you get that one right? Do. Uh-oh. Be. Remember, there's that letter sound and then the E at the end of the word, so it says its name. B-E. Be. Be smart and practice your sight words. Oh, dear me. Go. I like to go to the store. Oh, dear. Addie and Brinley like to practice sight words. And you'll see this one all the time, so it's important to remember. A-N-D spells and. This one you can sound out, but it's another one we like to just know when we look at it. In. In. This is one of our word families. Do you remember it? Words not cat or bat or hat or sat. It's at. At. The cookie was at the table. This is another word family. It's not sit. It's not bit. It's not mit. It's it. Last one. Now this one is a little confusing sometimes because sometimes we want to flip the letters and we think it says no. That's not what it says. It says on. On. Guys, you did a really good job. Those are the 2 set of sight words. I'll do another set next week so that maybe you can come back and listen to this and keep practicing those sight words so you know them for next year. All right, guys, our next thing is a game we're going to play. It's called listening. So part of music and part of dancing is being able to listen and to be able to hear the music and to be able to know what it is. Well, Miss Sarah never learned how to play an instrument, but I love music. So I wanted to go ahead and pull out the iPad, and I'm going to pull up one of our baby apps so that you can listen to a sound and see if you can tell me what instrument it is. Are you ready? I'll do an easy one first. My volume's down. Oh. Hold on, let's go again. Well, guys, this isn't working. Let's try again. Guys, my computer's not working. It has no sound. That is so weird. Well, guys, I'm just going to have to grab a different one later. So I'll go ahead and do another video with that. But what it is I have all these instruments on this. And what happens is I'm going to touch. This is a violin. This is an organ. This is a guitar. Saxophone, drums, xylophone, it looks like a recorder maybe, and accordion, trumpet, piano, harp, and harmonica. I don't know why this isn't working, but I will go ahead and make sure that I make another video where we get to play that game, and then when I hit it, it'll go ahead and play those noises and you can hear it, which is actually super awesome if it works, but that happens sometimes. All right, guys, so our next thing I want you to do is I want you to do freeze dance. Now, if you have a Google at home or an Alexa, and you can say, Alexa, play freeze dance for me, it does it, and it's way fun. But if you don't, then I want you to go ahead and ask your mom and dad or your brother and sister, they can help you. And I want you to turn music on and dance, 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 and then stop when it says freeze. That's what our Google at home one does. And so I want you to do that. I will try and make a video. Addie and Brent are napping right now, but maybe I will make a video of them freeze dancing, and then you can dance around and freeze dance too. There might be lots of small videos in this week. Hopefully you like them. All right, guys, so after freeze dance, we have our word tracers. Now, there are lots of different words we've been talking about, and I just went over some of them. And so these are our word tracers. So let's take a look. So this is a guitar. This is a trumpet, piano, drums, violin, bassoon, tuba, flute, and a harp. Now guys, these are all different awesome words to go ahead and know. But what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and trace the letters. So we have G, U, I, T, A, R for guitar. Now notice, guys, that this is a name of something, so they've done a capital at the beginning and then all lowercase. So if I was doing it and I was going to write guitar, I'd go nice and slow, and I want to make sure that I stay on those lines. Now remember, we have the top line that's solid and the bottom one, and then we have a dotted line in the middle. Now usually when you're doing a capital, you usually go from the top line to the bottom line. When you're doing lowercase, you usually stay below the dotted line. So I'm going to write guitar really quick, and then I'm going to show you what I mean so that you can make sure that you are writing them correctly. All right, let's take a look. Here's guitar. Now I wrote guitar. Now notice when I made my G, I went all the way up to that solid line and all the way bottom to the solid line, and then in the middle, I made sure I hit right across that dotted line. When I made my U, I started at the dotted line, went over and up and down, and stopped at that straight line. You don't ever want to go down here or up here. You always want to stay in those lines. Then I did my line with my dot. Now notice it was a lowercase, so I started at my dotted line, and then I went all the way down to that straight line, and then put a dot. Now for this one, I went from the top to the bottom, and then in the middle, because that's a lowercase t. And then for my A, I did the same thing. I wanted to make sure that I started on that dotted line. I made the circle and made the A, and same thing with my R, okay? So it's important that you remember that. Now this next one says trumpet. Do you notice that my P comes below the line? That's okay, but notice that my circle for my P stays right between that dotted line and that straight line. Same with my E and my M and my R and my U. Okay, we want to make sure that we stay in those lines, because when you go to kindergarten and elementary school, that's where they're going to want you to write. So if you start practicing now, you will do a great job. So again, we have the guitar, trumpet, piano, drums, violin, bassoon, tuba, flute, and a harp. So write all those ones, practice doing your very best. Make sure you don't go above that line or below that line unless you're doing a P or a Q or a G. Those are the only times you can go below those lines. Guys, I'm so glad you were here at Spartan Station today. I'm super excited to talk about lots of things the rest of the week, and make sure you watch all of my small videos that it looks like I'm going to have to upload later today. Bye guys, thanks.